inconvenient truth about household. I could have just said destroying household witchcraft. But God says, as sad pause, there are people who are going to hear this, read this book, and they will not understand. But you have to let them know it's inconvenient. If the Lord does not give you spiritual understanding, you push them aside and you keep on going through recurrence of defeat, destruction at the hands of household witchcraft. A lot of people are contaminated with this spirit. And you can't blame them, because once you are contaminated by this fallen spirit called witchcraft, it begins to control its victims, who are the agents. And the devil comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. So it has no mercy. In the vocabularies of witchcraft, there is nothing like mercy. What is evil is good to them, and what is good is evil to them. Witchcraft and witches enjoy and celebrate only when people are frustrated, miserable, defeated, and are going through all sorts of problems. That is when they are jubilating. When they see you succeeding, prospering, fulfilling destiny, when they are very miserable. What is light to them is darkness, and darkness is light to them. If you don't understand this, then you are in trouble. Then you will ignorantly allow yourself to be wasted in the hands of witchcraft. And that's why many people are victims. Oh, I love the Lord, I pray, but the very persons working on them is witchcraft. Household, very close. The second one, that one is also on YouTube. It's on YouTube. I posted it on YouTube. This lady was caught in Kenya, also Uganda. I have it on YouTube about, I think I titled it, Witchcraft is Real. Witchcraft is Real. It's on YouTube. A story is told, and she was caught. She confessed, and they made her go to dig out what she did. She is the oldest sister of many other siblings. And she found out that the others, one or two of them, have gotten married. But she, who is the oldest, is not married. So she goes to a witch doctor and practices witchcraft on the other girls and ties all their marital destiny and blocks them from marrying, because he says, no more will any of them marry unless I marry. She's the oldest, and the young ones were married. She said, no more. So she goes to the witch doctor and practices witchcraft, and the witch doctor gives her a cloth and does some incantation and divination, all this, their stuff on it, and tells her to go at the family house, the back, and dig and bury the cloth with it, all those things, they did concoction, and bury it. And the witch doctor said, as long as water does not touch this cloth, your sisters will remain single the rest of their life. And then these sisters go to prophetic conference. The man of God reveals it to them that the reason why you are single, unable to marry, is because somebody is practicing witchcraft. It is your own elder sister who has buried your marital glory. Go and confront her. She will confess. And they confronted her, and then the whole community, Africa, when they catch witches, they can be sometimes aggressive. So they confronted her. Where did you bury our marital glory? And so in the video, they carried her, and people brought videos, and then she was taking them. And she goes to dig out in the family house. The men took their stuff and then dug it, and there comes all sort of manner of things. And that is when they began to break through. Evidence on YouTube. Household witchcraft. Inconvenient witchcraft. Their own sister was the reason why they couldn't get. Because she said no. If I don't marry, you don't marry. Amen. Now you are beginning to sink in why it is inconvenient.
There's no vaccine, easy.
Nobody's even responding. That's what I'm saying, inconvenient. Wait until you find out what is close to you. You know. Amen. Okay, another woman. This is a Caucasian lady. a white lady. A man of God from Nigeria steps into the U.S. and immediately he stepped in. He's called Apostle Johnson Suleman. He steps in, and members of his church members saw him. Oh, man of God, and this Caucasian lady. Africans, when some of the culture, when they see a man of God, they just bow and show that kind of respect for the man of God, because one of the things some of the Western world do not understand is that your biological father is a function of where you are coming from. Your biological father is a function of where you are coming from. Your spiritual mentor or father is a function of where you are going. That spiritual father or spiritual mentor, spiritual leader who comes into your life is the one who is going to lead you to where you need to be. There are places you can never get to because of your biological father, because of household curses, household witchcraft, and household limitation. But your spiritual mentor or your spiritual leader is the one who will teach you how to walk in God's grace to go to where you need to be and break all spiritual limitations. So your biological father is a function of who brought you into this world and where you are coming from. But where you need to be in destiny and fulfill the purposes of God, it is the one God brings into your life as a man of God to help you, assist you to get there. So if you don't understand this chemistry, you'll be just going in circles because you don't have a spiritual mentor. And some of you, the reason why you are not breaking through because you know your biological father brought you into this world. And he himself didn't know even Jesus. And his life is surrounded by curses and stuff. And you don't have any spiritual mentor to help you, to take you to where God has intended for your life. And you think you know it all. So you are limited. So there are some barriers and limitations you're not able to break through. So that's why it's very important where you fellowship, who is shepherding you, who is leading you, who is speaking into your life, who is prophesying into your life, who is helping you to get there. If you don't have it, your foundation can stop you. Because where you are coming from, if they have heavy-duty foundational issues, that's it. It doesn't matter how talented, skilled, wise, intelligent you are, limited. Because in some families, they'll tell you, nobody can be rich, nobody can go past this limit, nobody can be pregnant, nobody can succeed. It is a family generational curse. Nobody should be pregnant, nobody should be able to succeed. If you travel, you will be deported. All sorts of curses. It's only somebody who is spiritual giant in the spiritual world, who knows Christ, can break you and take you where you are going. Very important. So this woman bows and just talks to this spiritual father, and then the Caucasian lady, the white lady, says that, why are you doing this? Is he a priest? And the man of God spoke through him to the lady. And says, do you have children? I said, no, I don't have any kids. And he says, tonight, you will know why you don't have kids. At 12 midnight, wake up and just observe in your room, you will see. So this white lady who doesn't believe in these Africans, with the Western, we are intellectual, we don't believe in all this superstition stuff they are talking about. Okay. So midnight, let me just find out what this man of God was saying all about. She wakes up and goes to the living room only to discover that her own mom had taken her pad, menstrual pad, and was sucking the blood out of it. You know when you have menses, you use pad, and the mom was sucking the blood. He said, Mommy! So the next morning, he goes to the man of God's hotel and said, I need to talk to this man of God. And they had to call the guy to come because he was creating sin. My mom practiced voodoo. My mom practiced voodoo. I caught her sucking my pad with blood. He says, it's not voodoo, it's not voodoo. It is called witchcraft. Witchcraft. Every time this woman was sucking her pad, with the blood, she was eating up her children. That was what was causing the infertility and miscarriage. Household witchcraft. The story goes on and on. I can give you thousands, all true stories. I've told you about the woman who comes to my church. She was there. Were you there that day? Where her own grandmother she loved most, spent most time with, gave her over to the marine. And because of that, today she can't stay in marriage. Household witchcraft.
The other lady too. The last conference we had, the lady that was moving like a snake, her own father was the one that donated her, you remember?
Yeah.
Like, you hear stories all the time.
When you come to this conference, you see things. You see some strange stuff. But they are all connected to household enemies. So please, remember this, if you don't learn to master your enemies within, don't be wasting your time with the enemies outside. Because the only reason the enemies outside have the right to be releasing curses and spells and trying to destroy you is because your enemies within have given you over. They don't want to see you prosper. They want to get rid of you. And so they are collaborating with other enemies from outside to say that in this family, nobody is supposed to be prominent. In this family, nobody is supposed to be rich. In this family, nobody is supposed to get married. In this family, nobody is supposed to get pregnant. In this family, nobody is supposed to keep their marriage. They can marry, but they have to remarry. We have to destroy. So help us. You know what? Those are witches in the church, help us destroy her. Witches at your workplace, help us destroy her. Witches wherever. So they begin to collaborate with all witches everywhere, networking, collaborating to make sure that their evil assignment on you comes to pass. Before that happens, it's because witchcraft in your own family has come together to plan the destruction on your life. Can we read? And then another interesting story. Another interesting story about a deliverance pioneer in our country called Bishop Kanku narrated this story about his own experience. A woman had a lot of kids, and one of the most prominent one had traveled to abroad in the Western world, and she was into witchcraft. The woman was into witchcraft. But in witchcraft, they take turns. At a specific time, you eat up my kids, or you donate a human being for sacrifice, and we drink their blood or eat their flesh. That's why I wrote the book, Spiritual Diagnosis. Spiritual Diagnosis. Why I wrote this book is when I went to the conference for the first time 7 years ago, when I discovered that many of the problems we are facing, it is not physical, it is spiritual. Cancer, kidney stones. A prophet will call somebody and say, you have kidney failure. He says that witches have poked holes in your lungs, in your kidney. That's why you're having this kidney lung failure. I read most of the problem, maritally, health-wise, everything. Your job, you are losing your job. It was all witchcraft. So I came back from the conference for the first time, getting this revelation. And I was telling people, hey, witchcraft is real. This is what is going on in the spiritual realm. And I was telling people, everybody I see on God says that, why don't you put it in a book and let the world know? So I started this ministry with just trying to inform people about the dark world, which is taking